News 6, parents, kids, and community leaders are making their voices heard as the Rochester Public Schools consider changing the district masking policy.
KIMT News 3's Anthony Monzon joins us live with a sampling of the community's opinions about face coverings in the classroom. Anthony.
Katie and George, the reason these changes are being deemed necessary has to do for reasons well behind the cafeterias and classrooms at public schools across the Med City, like the one behind me. But the conversation about updating masking guidance to reflect new guidance from health experts is proving to be challenging for Rochester Public Schools and the entire community. It's summertime in the Med City. The weather is hot. Playgrounds are full, and students, as well as their parents, are focused on pools rather than schools. But as dripping water dries from wet swimsuits, a COVID conflict shows its face again. After a contentious Rochester Public School Board meeting earlier this month, a number of people plan to pack the room at next Tuesday's session, speaking out against masking in classrooms. Med City students and parents weigh in.
I feel like it's kept kids healthy, and I've worked in the healthcare industry where it's been proven that it's kept people more healthy. So I would say to keep kids healthy would be the objective.
That's what it is, folks. So there you got it. You're supposed to stay healthy with masks.
I think masks in schools would be helpful because cases have been going down, and even though some kids are going to neglect the fact that masks are helpful, it would still do a lot of good.
Do you think it makes sense to have kids wear them even if they've already been vaccinated?
Maybe, because even if they've been vaccinated, they could still be carrying it.
Decisions at the intersection of kids, COVID, and classrooms are anything but clear-cut. Just take it from one RPS mom who had these words to say to the school board.
I'm nervous about the fall.
Rachel Horseman worries her 3 children will be forced to continue covering up, particularly her 6-year-old son with learning disabilities who has a harder time with a mask on.
Enough is enough. I am done with masking up for children. We need to just move on from the COVID restrictions. We need to let the kids breathe freely.
The chair of Olmsted County's GOP says it's parents like Horseman RPS will have to answer to.
The CDC itself says children have an extremely small chance of getting sick. Transmission among students is relatively rare. And so the school board will just have to weigh, the impact to children's social development, mental health, and quality of education.
We are listening to both sides.
Taking it all in is interim superintendent Dr. Kent Packel, tasked with updating the district's face covering policy.
I have talked in particular to parents who are strongly pro-masking. Mostly we're talking now about little kids who are not vaccinated, ages 2 through 11, and talk to parents who are strongly against masking. And all the parents I've spoken to, even ones who are really pretty mad, there's a concern for all kids that's there as well. And I'm glad to hear that. And I'm hoping that those parents and the community as a whole will have a sense that my job is to do what is going to keep all of our kids safe.
And something Packel has reminded community members of is the common goal for everyone is keeping kids safe. Now, as far as when we could get a decision from Packel about recommendations to the school board, there's going to be a meeting Monday with the district and several of the health experts it consults with. And followed by that will largely influence the recommendations he makes to the school board the next day. Live in Rochester, Anthony Monzon, KIMT News 3.
Thanks, Anthony. Stay with KIMT News 3 for continuing coverage of next week's school board meeting.